Good morning and what's happening from somewhere in New Mexico. Never mind the jet noise you hear, that's coming from the camp chef right now. Interestingly enough, I have run out of big propane and I'm having to use my backup propane. And the reason I've run out is I have been at this event dedicated to van lifers and overlanders alike, primarily van lifers and schoolies alike, called Moon Landing. And we all gathered right here in the middle of the desert. There's about 400 of us gathered right here in the middle of the desert to watch the moon do a trick where it went in front of the sun. You may have heard of it. It's called an annular eclipse, I think, something like that. Doesn't happen annually. At any rate, I'm getting ready to pack up here all my shit after I get done with coffee, and then Chad and I, who's over there with living the van life, I think we're gonna head down the BDR, so figured I'd take you guys with us. But first, we're gonna go to some kind of volcanic lava tubes, as well as an ice cave, supposedly. I don't know, we're gonna check it out, see what we can get into, so let's roll. Cool thing about these events and gatherings is, well, you just gain random dogs sometimes. This one's Pepper, I believe. Pepper. Yep, Pepper. Also need to find the owners of these chairs. And I gotta clean up before we get on the road. Holy shit. Side note though, the new battery is showing 13.3. So yeah, that thinging, you know. It's got a 𝐒𝐿𝐻𝐺 100-watt sitting up there, the portable guy, and I just alligator clipped it to the battery, and I think this is a phenomenal setup. I do, however, wish that the 𝐒𝐿𝐻𝐺 panel was a whole lot smaller. I wish that it was more compact and packed up a little bit easier, but yeah, otherwise 100 watts. And I just flew out east for Overland Expo East and left the truck in Denver for like 2 weeks with just that 100-watt panel up, fridge running the entire time. Everything was perfect. So yeah, 100 watts is all you need. The 1 AGM battery, all you need. The hardest part is truly just cleaning up the mess after nearly a week of, you know, camping and partying and carrying on. And yeah, so you can see Apple is an absolute disaster right now. All right, it's becoming almost an emergency. We're running seriously low on rations here. I know, because when the faucet starts spitting and sputtering and you gotta, you know, lift it up, put it all the way down in there. Let's see. Oh man, you guys can't see it. I can. It's not looking good. Hey Chad, what do you think the chances are of us finding any kind of semblance of a city nearby?
Dude, I think it's like 60 miles north of here. We're going the opposite direction. We might be lucky if we find a gas station.
Yeah, we're headed out there. Half a tank of gas, no water, no propane. Well, I got 2 things of propane, and I've got some donated food and a bottle of cheap vodka, so we make do, you know? I mean, that'll at least get us down the road, right?
At least we got the vodka.
Yeah. If anything, we don't need the propane. We can just start a fire with the vodka. I heard slight distress coming from over here. What was that you were saying?
The fuel stations are few and far in between.
Yeah? What's the closest one?
I mean, it's like 15 miles back the opposite direction into the world, but we're going that way.
Yeah.
And it's no man's land in Mexico.
It's crazy.
Yep.
Well, that's beautiful. There was somebody here at one time, because that little fixer-upper down there. And then also over there in the cliffs over there are some cliff dwellings, but that's all private land, so unfortunately we can't go and venture over there, or else we'd be there. The sheer size difference of That big ass van compared to Apple whenever it's parked next to it is crazy.
But you can go either way. If you go right, you go to the ice cave first. You go left, you go to the rim of the crater first.
Okay.
So it's about a half a mile up there.
Okay.
It's 1,500 feet almost across here.
Wow.
And there are 800 something plus down to the bottom from where you're standing, okay?
Can you just look down at
You
it?
can. You're going to be standing right there. See that little orange dot? When you're here, that's where you'll be.
Okay.
And you'll see the chain of craters, some of them off to the southwest. There's 29 of these things. They pop up every few miles out of the desert floor. And it's the continental divide. It follows the rim. Yeah, pretty cool stuff.
Wow.
So the eruptions were approximately 10,000 years ago, but none of us were here to verify that, so we don't know exactly, but that's their best guess. So
I remember going up there as a kid and digging in the dirt.
I'll tell you the story about this guy, man. It seems like y'all might appreciate it. This is 5 generations back. Hey, that young man right there, he's the 5th generation. But hey, he was 9 years old, 1860 something. Was orphaned and got captured by the Navajo. Lived with them for a year. Navajos and Apaches got together and were gambling. He got lost in the gambling match to the Apaches. We moved him back to Arizona to 𝐒𝐭 Valley, which is about, as a crow flies, 120 or so miles from here southwest towards Phoenix. And he lived there with the White Mountain Apaches for almost 10 years. By the end of that time, he was one of the guys, one of the warriors, had an Apache wife and everything. And so one night they went out on something, and that's when he made his break back to civilization. And of course, this is like 50 years later, he lived to be almost 94 or something like that. Yeah. Now, after that happened to him, a few years later, Kit Carson was taking a camel train from somewhere here in New Mexico to California. They were testing the camels to see if they'd work for the cavalry. Well, Kit Carson was in charge of that. They hired him to be a guide and an interpreter because he spoke Apache and Navajo, and plus that's where he lived. He knew the area. Okay, so he did his job, took him to California. Come time to pay him off, and he's dealing with the government. They paid him for his guide service. Well, the guide doesn't make near as much money as an interpreter does. The interpreter gets paid a whole lot more because he can speak the languages. So they paid him for his guide service, and he's like, wait a minute, of course they get paid for interpreting. And Kit Carson, I don't know, they must have had a little spat. Kit Carson threw him in jail. Fortunately, he had a relative that was a judge, and they got out the charges because it wasn't even charges; they were ripping him off, So, anyhow, pretty colorful history.
Not much
That's
has
crazy. Yeah, exactly. They bring him back from on disc and all that. So, yeah, that's the earliest picture right there of the ice cave. Now, those steps weren't.
Lava.
Moving to the east, the closest ones are Arizona, 𝐒𝐿madre, Americana, Rendaja, la 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 la. So there's a big twin you can see here.
A total of 29 in this area volcanoes. That's unreal.
As lava ages, the various elements within the rock leaches out.
Which is why they change color.
Elements present in most lava rock include oxygen, silicon, iron, aluminum, calcium, magnesium, sodium, sulfur, potassium, titanium, and other trace elements. Here you see calcium white, sodium and sulfur yellow, and iron red.
Ah, the red one. So cool.
So was this up higher at one point?
Yeah, well,
Blew its top.
Everything that was here and above is all over the place now.
it's kind of funny that spatter cone.
Yeah.
This is just a bigger version of that, basically, right?
Oh, A and B. Human habitation.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
The circular stacks of lava that you see in this area are ancient Pueblo ruins. If you look carefully, you can see stacks of lava rocks forming a wall in front of the small cave. The cave is actually a surface tube. Oof. The insulating properties of lava make for ideal shelter. The ancient artifacts displayed in the trading post were found in ancient ruins such as this. The artifacts were found in the 1940s and 50s. He did explain that we would be walking through.
Yeah.
Wow. How wild.
Yeah, this is like Arctic pageant.
So every day is a school day for SirWilliamGoes. I just found out this is what they make
Never stop learning.
gin out of. Juniper?
Juniper bush. That's the berries that they use for the gin.
Hell yeah.
They ferment them.
You know, I've done a lot of cool shit, but one thing I've never done is I've never camped in a junkyard off of Route 66 that's attached to a brewery. But we're fixing to tonight. First, we gotta go in there and get some food though. The Junkyard 66 is located just outside of the city of Grants, New Mexico, which is good because Grants is a proper city where we were able to find a Walmart and able to find this love where we were able to get a much needed, really nice hot shower and then of course fill up with gas for the adventure. One last mandatory stop before we head out. Blake's Burgers. I've been told that you can't come to New Mexico without getting a lot of burger. Damn, that's a lot of burger right there, dude. Hell yeah. All right, well, now that we've got all of our rations, got all of our gas, stopped for a Blake's Burger, it's time to go hit the trail. Let's roll. We're starting just outside where Interstate 40 in Grants, New Mexico is. Just got on gravel. Let's go ahead and air down. This is going to be the first kind of longer distance off-road traveling I'm going to be doing on these new Toyo Open Country RT trails. So I can't wait to test them out and see how they go. And also, I'm stoked to see how Chad's van does. I've gone a little bit of off-road with him. I'm hoping that we get some good off-roading, but that thing, watching it perform off-road is pretty cool. So I can't wait to see how it does. Damn, dog. That's how you let air out. Mainly, the reason that I want to air down is simply just to be easier on the equipment. I've got a rack that is kind of on its last leg, so I'm trying to go easy on it. And also, it's just going to ride a whole lot better, you know? And it looks like Chad's all aired down. You ready to roll?
I'm ready to rock, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's good to see the end of the pavement.
Yeah, for sure. Chad's anxious to use this winch, so we got to see if we can make that happen.
That's why I told Will, if we're going to be out here, let's find a spot where we got to use at least one of our winches.
Hell yeah, let's go look for it.
Let's do it.
This dust is definitely going to be something that we're going to have to contend with here. Hopefully it doesn't get any worse, you know? Chad, when you camera on camera, the way that you just did, is it an infinite camera thing, or?
Yeah, it's that, what do they call that, the infinite mirror type thing?
Yeah. There's a significant difference, Chad, in the equipment that we're using, though. You've got you got a whole setup versus the iPhone on this Amazon Basics tripod I'm working with.
Hey, but you know what? I always go and say the biggest video I've ever filmed on the YouTube channel was filmed with an iPhone, so.
Nice. Did you have a tripod with a missing janky leg like this?
No, I don't think. I'm trying to think if I even had a tripod. I think I had one of the little iPhone tripods. So.
There's just a hole in the middle of the woods. That's wild. You trust those grates? mean, look at this. Just literally in the middle. No information, no nothing. Wow. That's pretty wild. It looks like there's a tree growing down in there, or maybe Chad said it could be the pylons if it was a mine shaft, maybe. That's crazy, dude. Pretty cool. Right over there, that big mound that you see is actually a volcano. And that's some of the lava flow from it. We're about to wrap around it. In this area of New Mexico, the guy yesterday at the ice cave told us there's a total of 29 volcanoes that have kind of popped up all right here along the continental divide of New Mexico, which is mind-blowing. The other thing that's mind-blowing is the fact that, you know, we were in the desert, and then now we're amongst the Ponderosa Pines, and then now we're amongst the volcano. Wild. So they're hunting bear out here.
Oh, no kidding, huh?
What's even more interesting is he said that there's a lot. They've been shooting one a day.
Whoa. Crazy.
Yeah, so I said, well, appreciate you letting me know. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, go for it.
All those mounds are volcanoes. It is 6:40 and the sun just set. We are looking for camp. In this particular area, there's a bunch of Navajo land, and obviously you can't set up and camp on Navajo land. There's also a bunch of state trust land, which we're not real sure the ins and outs of the state trust land in this particular area. But it looks like we're going to be coming up on some BLM land here shortly, so hoping to find camp at BLM land prior to it actually being so dark that we can't really get our bearings. So that's the current situation. What you think? You think this will work?
I think this could be home for the night, man.
Yeah, I think so too.
Not bad.
Got a nice little spot right there. We get leveled up. I can get leveled up right here in this little spot. Cool. Home for the evening. I'm gonna probably pull up just a little bit more, just so I've got a little area to work over here on the back for coffee and shit in the morning. But yeah, cool. Back hatch view in the morning should be pretty damn dope.
Yeah, that's gonna be epic.
Yeah.
Santa Rita Mesa. I like it.
Look at this guy. You know, when you live in a van, you can bring all the cool tools.
That's right.
Full-on chainsaw.
Yep.
Hell yeah. We made it to a really cool camp spot. We didn't get here in time to see the sun set over it, but there's a nice like canyon. We're just up on top of this canyon. I don't know how deep it is or anything. We didn't really get to see it too good. Plus it's got some shrubbery and all that. What I will tell you is today, let's see if I can pull it up. Today we traveled 93 miles, most of that of which was on dirt. No real technical stuff. It was all nice graded dirt roads for the most part. And we did that at an average speed of 26.5 miles an hour. So not a bad day. We covered some distance. Looks like as we head south, it's probably still going to be just those nice roads. It's just going to be real pretty scenery. We may get into some stuff once we get into the further south into the, looks like San Francisco Mountains is what that is. And then I don't know what national forest that is right there, but once we get into there, we may get into some prettier stuff, it looks like on the map. So right now though, we're just kind of setting up camp. I just got done doing some dishes, getting everything kind of organized from the week at moon landing, and we got the solo stove set up, looks like over there. Chad's about to pull out his whole back kitchen situation and get some good stuff cooked up over there. So yeah, looking forward to it. Man, talk about the life of luxury, dude. What do you got going on right here?
Welcome to van life, man.
Yeah, holy cow, you got a whole kitchen set up. What you cooking for us?
So I love cooking with Italian sausage. Normally doing it over a campfire, but since we got here so late, we're gonna do it the quick and easy way here with the Instant Pot. I'm gonna throw together like a little rice bowl with some Italian sausage and some seasonings, and just kind of mixing things together, see what happens.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, yours looks a lot more elaborate than whenever I have my dinner for us tomorrow, but hell yeah, I love your setup though.
Yeah.
I like how you got everything nice and neat, tucked away in the garage there, and then you can come right off the back here.
Yep.
Hell yeah. Dude's getting fancy with the fresh garlic. But check this out. That damn Instapot. Man, that's something I kind of wish I had room in Apple for an Instapot.
I tell you what, you know, it's handy. I find that I cook a lot simpler meals, a lot more healthy meals. Like, I've lost a lot of weight and it felt way better after cooking with this thing because I started cooking more of my own stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy. Unless I'm out cooking, you know, over a campfire or something like that.
Right.
Instapot's great.
Yeah. How much power does it use?
It's a 1500 watt.
Okay.
So,
but that's only while it's heating.
Yeah. Yeah, there's different modes and stuff like that. Like right now we're on saute, so it's probably
pulling
full
it.
bore.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I can get down with that right there. Bag catch view does not suck this morning. All right, we're gonna see if I still got the Waffle House in me, you know? Hey, got it. A zebra breakfast. Hey man, I know that you're busy over here living the van life, but
Oh dude, dinner, sir. Wait, breakfast.
breakfast, yeah. That's how we live the Forerunner life right there. Some avocado, sausage, and a little over easy egg or over medium egg, however you wanna twist it up.
I like it, dude.
All right, well, breakfast has been served. We've got to soak in some of the view, drank a whole pot of coffee, and packed up and ready to roll. About to get back onto the BDR, and then we will probably get all the way down to the southern portion of where we're gonna cut off of the BDR today. We're hoping to find camp kind of early, and we're hoping to find some technical bits on this trail. So yeah, let's roll. So on the map it shows there's a salt lake right here, and I saw just a bit of a glimpse of it, and it just looks like a dry salt bed down here. Yeah, check that out.
Fixed all sorts
I
of...
don't go down there, but you can see it from here.
So it looks like that was actually 2 volcanoes right there where that salt lake has been formed. That is wild. This one's gonna have a standoff with me. You know, it never ceases to amaze me whenever I'm doing these trails is how much the landscape changes, and it's just like from one to the other. So as you can see, we just got done going through a bunch of desert, then we went straight into a pine forest, and then now we're on like prairie land with mountains and stuff. It's pretty crazy. Had to do a slight bit of maintenance here on the trail. After riding along with the windows up and the AC on, the dust has been pretty bad, and I noticed that the AC wasn't pumping out nearly as much as it should. So reached into the glove box here and pulled out my cabin air filter. Check this out. Now, I've already done this a few times, but as you can see, the cabin air filter is just a tad bit dirty. Yeah, there ain't no way I'm getting that out. I've actually ran without it for like a year, but I put one back in there, but yeah. So yeah, take that bad boy out and I get some air. We are in the squiggly line section of the BDR on the map here, and I was really hoping for some, you know, real technical stuff, or at least semi-technical stuff. And you know, today has been beautiful, but there's just no kind of technical trail to this. It's just all really finely grade forest service road for the most part, but it is beautiful, and the landscape of New Mexico is crazy, man. More trail maintenance here. What you got going on?
I must have a plugged up air filter because I'm like running out of power. I mean, we're getting up to almost 9,000 feet just back there, and this thing is like no power. So it would make sense that I'm running low on
air.
On air, yeah. That I'm plugged up air filter. So we're gonna open this thing up and see what I got.
Well, if it looks anything like that cabin air filter I just cleaned.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna take a look.
Well, I'll go ahead and take that opportunity to do mine too. The roads that we've been on during, well, pretty much all of this trail have been just way dusty. You can tell it's extremely dry out here. So both of our filters are clogged up. As you saw earlier, the cabin air filter, granted the cabin air filter's been in there for a little bit of time, so is the air filter, but the dust that we've had over the past few days has been quite significant. And the dust we had going into the moon landing event was quite significant as well, as while at the moon landing event. So it would make sense that the filters are clogged. Oh yeah, he's looking dirty. Oh yeah. Nice. All right, well, I'm definitely going to be getting a new one of these next time I come across an auto parts store, but airing it off will kind of take the edge off of it for sure. And while we're on this subject, if you've got one of those K&N filters, cold air is probably one of the worst, but even the panel filters, just go ahead and toss them, man. In my opinion, and many other people's opinion, you can't get better than just a clean air filter. And with those K&N filters, particularly with the dust, they're just gonna clog up on you a whole lot easier, and it's hard to get them nice and clean. Just spend the money each time, get you a nice clean air filter, and even carry a spare with you if you can. Chad's got to dive a little bit further into it. He's got to actually undo his box with screws and such. Yikes, dude.
They're shaking.
Golly. Wow. Yeah, that makes it a little harder to breathe.
Yeah.
Need to get you a snorkel on that thing, dude.
I know.
You know, I don't want a snorkel on Apple, but let me show you guys where the air intake is here. Right underneath there, and that is the air intake, that big black thing, and it's just open right up here at the top. So all that dust just flies right in there. Now, what I'm thinking is I may run a tube up into the cowl, or I may try to make some sort of a snorkel situation up here. But the idea behind the snorkel is not necessarily for water crossings as much as it's for this very situation right here, which is riding with multiple vehicles and having dust all over the place. So if I can get the air intake just above the dust cloud, then I can maintain a cleaner air filter, ideally. And it helps. Could you tell any difference coming up that hill right there?
Oh yeah, way different. That was definitely what it was.
Nice.
Yeah, I kind of could tell even several miles back. It was almost like my alternator was on charge of my batteries, which it's not because it's full. And yeah, I figured it was air filter.
Right on. Well, always like a nice easy fix, you know?
Oh hell yeah, for sure.
Go to the left here, sharp left. You said you got a check engine light on?
Yeah, 10-4 is a bit of a limp mode.
You want to pull over and maybe try to turn it off back on, see if a cold start will help it or what?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was wondering.
Or maybe turn it off and disconnect the battery and then restart it from there.
Yeah, roger that.
Right on, we'll find a pull off up here somewhere. All right, so as you heard, the current situation now is we're actually on the highway just for a bit, connecting to another part into the National Forest here. And looks like Chad's now got a check engine light on. He had some problems with the dust earlier, but now with the check engine light, we're gonna try to pull over here and see if we can't disconnect the battery and get that check engine light to go off and maybe reset itself kind of. I'm wondering if all the loose dust got on one of those mass airflow sensors.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. It's happened before. John's had it happen a couple times out on the trail, just driving dirt roads for long periods of time like that. I've got a diagnostic computer with me on board too because of the transfer case and shit. So worst case scenario, I can hook up to it and clear codes and all that shit.
Right on. Well, I know it's frowned upon, but I've done it many times with great success. I've got some brake cleaner and some Q-tips. We can clean the mass airflow sensor, worst case scenario.
Oh yeah, 10-4, roger that. The only one I can see is a signal acquisition and actuation module. That's the only one that's like a current failed thing right now. But I don't know what that is.
I was about to say, what does it all mean?
Signal acquisition and actuation module. Let's see.
Well, luckily we have Starlink, and you can just
That's right.
look it right on up.
Don't matter where we're at. We're probably good 20-30 miles from the cell phone service right now.
Yeah. So basically what that means is let's break out some chips and salsa and figure this thing out. So you cleared it, and now it's come back. Now you're getting a new code?
Mm-hmm.
Electronic Stability Program. All right, so you cleared the code, started it up, no check engine light.
Yeah, I think we're good to go.
We'll try it out. Hopefully it was just dust and vibration related, huh?
I hope so. We've been doing a lot of miles of dirt roads, and who knows, these Sprinter vans have been known to do that on days and days of back roads. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've done 150, I think, miles so far.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, the important thing is just having the tools with you to be able to fix it on the side of the road and just keep going. Because most people will be sitting here waiting for a tow truck. You know?
Yeah.
That's why I like working on my own vehicle, so you can deal with stuff like this.
All right, well, camp for tonight's definitely not gonna suck. Chad's up there getting some epic drone pics as per usual. If you don't already, I highly recommend subscribing to Chad's channel. Not only is he a cool dude and a great friend of mine, but he goes on some epic adventures in his Sprinter van, and he puts together these very cinematic, beautiful videos that tell the story tremendously well. Here's some drone shots out of the video that he took of the very same adventure that we were on. Like I said, you have to go check it out. It's pretty cool to see the different perspectives of the same adventure. And it looks like whenever we wake up in the morning, you're gonna be able to really see all that, so I'm pretty stoked. Here at camp, getting all set up. It's my turn to make dinner tonight, so we're gonna be making some patty melts. I'm gonna make a homemade burger sauce with it. I'm gonna grill up some poblano peppers and some onions to go on it, and then we also got some Texas toast. I guess while I'm waiting on these onions to, you know, do their thug thizzle and get right, I'll go over some trip stats with you. So today, we did 115 miles, and that puts a total at somewhere right around 200 miles or so. And I'd say a solid 70% of that has been off-road. Average speed for today was 16.7 miles an hour. Now, that's obviously going to be affected by some of the stopping and stuff like that we did to, you know, put out cameras, take up cameras, and also to fix the Mercedes or see what's going on with the Mercedes. Currently at 6,800 foot. I think yesterday we were somewhere right around 8,000 foot, but yeah. And looking at the map here, looks like we got just a little bit to go before we get to the highway. And then once we get to the highway, we're going to find out tomorrow. First of all, we all need gas or fuel for the Sprinter. We're going to find out tomorrow what we want to do. I may continue on south to Highway 10, and then right off of Highway 10 or the Interstate 10, just a little bit more south of that is a really cool campsite that I stayed at before, and I kind of want to go back there. And there's tons of land between there and the Mexico border. But one of the coolest things I remember about that particular place is the stars at night were absolutely gorgeous. So I don't know, just play it by ear. I don't really make any plans, just kind of out here seeing what we can see, you know what I mean? Anyway, that's the current situation. Trip stats. Working on these onions, got the poblanos cut up, got the ketchup all ready, got the dukes out, got the relish ready, about to make some sauce, get these patty melts popping, and then we're gonna have a fire, sit back, and get some of these keystones untrapped from the can, you know what I mean? Oh, we got this thing popping. We got the burger sauce going on right here. I got the piece of Texas toast toasting. I got these patties getting right. Got the peppers, got the onions. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, bud. That's what we do. All right, Chad, what's the verdict, man? You think I can compete with Blake's Lotaburger?
Dude, Blake's Lotaburger is not even on the same planet. This thing right here, freaking delicious. I thought I was hungry an hour ago, but then this thing showed up. My mouth was just watering.
Hell yeah.
It's a spot, though.
Glad you enjoy. Another great hatch view. Let's get some breakfast made. Oof.
You were talking about maybe being low on sausage. I've got Italian sausage that I can contribute. That's not, I know it's not breakfast sausage, but it's pretty damn close.
That's your favorite.
It is my favorite.
Well, here, what do you think about this guy? I mean,
yeah. Doesn't smell funky. Yeah, it's pretty good.
I'm down if you're down.
Yeah.
We die together.
Right.
Let's go. Do that, some eggs, and avocado.
Okay. I got eggs. You need eggs?
Got eggs.
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah.
Cool. You know, the only thing bad about hanging out with nomads and other folks that live in their vans is normally on the last day of camping with, you know, normal civilized people, I get all their leftovers. So now that Chad's leaving, he's keeping all of his leftovers because they're not left over. You're just going to eat them.
Yeah.
They're just his groceries.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, after a quick breakfast, I'm chilling and drinking some coffee and just kind of hanging out, getting our shit put back together. We're off to go to a gas station that's a couple miles down here off the BDR in a city called Glenwood. Supposedly there's a ghost town up north of the gas station that we're gonna go check out and see how it is. I'm kind of nervous about the gas situation. I got 50 miles to go until empty. Pretty low on gas, and it's quite some time until we get back to the main road, and then it's quite some time down the main road to get some gas. So fingers crossed. Let's keep it moving. That's the current situation. So this is the Mogollon ghost town. I think I'm pronouncing it right. Probably definitely not pronouncing it right. But at any rate, this little town basically supplied everybody with what they needed and wanted that worked at the mine. And the mine is Little Fanny Mine, where they did a whole bunch of silver and gold mining out of. Pretty cool. So I'll tell you, I am not a Ford fan. As a matter of fact, I'd probably just rather walk. However, that said, if you ever see me in a Ford, it'd probably be something like this. I'm gonna guess this is somewhere between a 68 and 72 Ford and a four-wheel drive F-250. And really, for, you know, it just sitting in the woods here is in fantastic shape. I mean, it's still even got the topper on the back that's not all beat up. This out. That's crazy. It just is a doorway into the side of this mountain. It's pretty wild. Walking around, and I just told Chad that I'd like to find a saloon somewhere in one of these old western towns, and came across one of the oldest buildings in this little ghost town here. Pretty wild. And it happened to be a saloon. What's always crazy is anytime that I come across like these really old buildings is I like to look at how they built stuff. If you see how they connected those columns there to the main support of the upper deck is just by way of those big metal braces. And yeah, I'm sure this thing's been updated throughout the years, but for the most part, looks like it's still got some of those old building techniques. That's pretty cool. Obviously, we don't have any firsthand experience because, well, we weren't here. But based off all the research that we've done, this Silver City stage stop right here, mixed with this general store, was probably the most hustling and bustling of this city's main time era. They'd stop here, gather up all the things that they were going to take over to Silver City, which is the next probably largest city here within this little region of New Mexico. And it's pretty crazy to think that they would go in bands of like 20, you know, horse and buggies down this really steep, windy road that we came up here and we'll have to go back down on. I just love to be able to talk to the walls of this general store, the stage stop, and the saloon, and just sit down and hear some of the stories that they have to tell, you know? So the one thing that always gets me whenever I come across stuff like this old Caterpillar bulldozer thing, and then these old trucks, and, you know, any of the other old vehicles that I see that are just kind of parked for the rest of time, is I wonder what happened the very day that they decided, well, shit, I'm just gonna leave it here, you know? Like, what happened? Did it just not crank again? Did they just run it until it stopped, or what happened? And then, you know, I kind of wonder what goes through somebody's head as they go through and they see it just sitting there for year after year after year after year. It's pretty wild to me. After exploring the ghost town, we worked up quite the thirst, so we decided to stop at this little dive bar that we saw along the side of the road here, and we even met the mayor. Peace! From here, Chad and I continued on our own separate adventures. Current situation, letting air back out of the tires because I found this trail here that actually looks pretty cool, and it looks like it goes straight back to the river, and it looks like I might be able to camp Riverside tonight. So let's try to get there before nightfall because it's coming quick. This is a pretty nice technical trail too, so I'm pretty stoked about it. The first technical trail that I've seen in, well, days of being on the BDR. This is not the BDR, but it is still in New Mexico. So this trail is wild, man. It is, it's basically, to me, I think it's just riverbed. I'm not real sure. I just know that I wouldn't want to be here during a flash flood. I did look at the weather. It looks like it's not supposed to storm anytime soon. I tell you, if it was supposed to storm, then I wouldn't want to be anywhere around here. For sure, because it looks like this is definitely a flood zone, you know? Oh, we're getting deeper and deeper into this trail. I mean, this is crazy. I figured I'd be close to the river by now. I'll be honest, this is not the most ideal time of day that I want to be exploring a land that I've never been to before, but sometimes shit happens, you know what I mean? Well, two things I'll tell you about this here trail. Their idea of a river and my idea of a river are two different things, and holy shit, this thing got tight. I am actively trying to find a spot that I can park, at this point, turn around, because it's just gotten too tight. I thought maybe it was going to open up a little bit back here, but it's not opening up. So I'm going to try to find a place that I can turn around And then once I get turned around, I'm gonna go ahead and call it for the evening. I don't want to explore anymore out here while it's nighttime. So that's the current situation. And what the hell is that? Oh, that's the river. Now I'm gonna have to reverse out of this. Damn it, dude. Definitely the river. Definitely don't want to do no part of that at nighttime, not knowing, you know, what it is. So yeah, I'm gonna back the hell up. It is so tight through here. I think I might be able to, yeah, I might be able to back into here and then make my way out just a tad. Definitely tight. Also just now realizing I got a tag light out, so that needs to be replaced ASAP. All right, so I got out of that. Now I'm just trying to find an open spot to call it a night. This trail has gotten pretty crazy. I guess it started off pretty crazy. I had no idea whenever I turned down in here that it'd be anything like this. So yeah, pretty wild to say the least. Right now I'm just gonna look for an open spot because I don't want to try to navigate my way out of here in complete darkness. And there's no service. The closest, I can imagine the closest to the road I am is probably between 5 to 10 miles. I guarantee it's probably pretty though, for sure. Looks like there's a pathway up here. Let me try to take it. Let's see. I was basically just looking for Riverside camping. And what a wild spot this is, man. I mean, crazy wild. This is the most open that I can find, so I'm just gonna prop up on some rocks here, I think. And yeah, I think I'm just gonna camp here. That's the river. There's a big ass canyon wall right there. How wild. I bet it looks completely different during the daytime though. I'm willing to bet that during the daytime, I'll probably be able to find that wide open camping spot that I'm looking for. Okay, I have found a little better spot. This spot is a little bit more open. It's more of a beachy river rock kind of thing, not those real big fat baby head boulders. And I am right on the river. I don't know if you can tell, but that is the river right there. There's Apple, and yeah, this is gonna be camp for tonight. There comes a certain point in time where you're just like, all right, I gotta call it quits before something bad happens, and now's one of those times. The moon is beautiful, and the stars will be out, and I'll get to hear the river, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be spectacular in the morning. So stay tuned. Quite hungry, so I'm gonna make something. I'm not gonna break out everything and cook. I think what I'm gonna do is, I got some Texas toast, some tuna, and some cheese, and some stuff to make tuna salad, so that's what I'm gonna do. Current situation, in the back of the truck, I've got my nets up. The bugs are pretty ridiculous whenever you turn the lights on over here, as they usually live in complete darkness, so they're attracted to any and all lights. And I think they're even getting through my no-see-em mesh. At any rate, fixing to make me a quick little tuna salad sandwich situation and eat that, and then relax for the rest of the evening and watch some stuff that I previously had downloaded on Netflix, and hit the sack, man. Not really much else to do. My mayonnaise, got my mustard, got a little bit of tuna, got some Texas toast left, and I got a piece of cheese in the fridge here I'm about to grab out. I tell you what, I absolutely hate pulling up into campsites at dark. Campsites that I know nothing about at dark. It's probably one of the most eerie things, and you're constantly on guard. And man, I don't like doing it. I don't like doing it at all. Every sound you hear, you're like, what is that? You know? And yeah, tonight's no different. Actually, if I'm being honest, tonight is a little different. One, I've been with people for the past, I don't know, 4 to maybe 6 weeks total. So you got that. I'm in a place that I've never, ever, ever been to in my entire life. So you got that. And it's kind of an eerie spot. If I'm not lying, if I'm being honest, it's kind of a real eerie spot. I think maybe it's because of me coming in here in complete darkness. I don't know. But at any rate, yeah, a little sketched out. The other thing is I've never been to or seen a river quite like this, or a riverbed quite like this. And yeah, noises and shit like that. All right, now maybe all will be well in the world. There's most certainly shit moving over in those woods, without a doubt in my mind. So that's kind of creepy. I'm hoping that when I wake up in the morning and kind of get a lay of the land, it'll be a little less creepy. But I'm not real sure. I don't normally get creeped out. And I guess normally I would say, you know, trust your intuition. But it's probably more dangerous for me to try to head out here right now in the complete darkness than if I just hunker down and be a scared little bitch, you know. Life on the road. It'll be better in the morning. Whenever I get up, it's probably going to be absolutely gorgeous. And then I'll make some coffee, make some breakfast. The plan is to go into Phoenix, get the steering rack on Apple replaced because it needs to be replaced. I'm going to get Arizona Toy Pros to do that. They do awesome work, and I trust them over there. So I'm going to have him replace the rack. Going back OEM, the rack is finally bitten the bullet after 200,000 miles. I need to get the maintenance done on Apple, oil change, tire rotation, normal 9 yards. Well, tire rotation, not really, because I just got brand new tires, which, by the way, the tires are doing really good. So this was actually the first little technical bit that I've had to do on them. But as far as, you know, finally graded gravel road, they've done really well. So yeah, so get some maintenance done in Phoenix, get that package, and then head out for Thanksgiving and all that. Go back out to the East Coast and then come back. I also need to get my passport because I'm going to Baja. So that's going to be fun. Enjoying this tuna salad sandwich-ish here in a sketchy campsite next to the river in a canyon in New Mexico with no service and nobody. Oh, and hearing freaky stuff in the woods. I'll catch up with you guys in the manana. Peace. Well, as expected, I woke up this morning to a beautiful campsite, not nearly as sketchy as I thought it was going to be. And, well, I'm happy for that. You know, the road to get back here was quite interesting. It wasn't like super technical rock crawling stuff. It was just, you know, just a lot of bouncing over kind of big, what they call baby head rocks, which the reason they're called baby head rocks is because, as you can imagine, they're about the size of baby heads, and they're nice and rounded and all. And the only thing I can imagine is that this was a spillway for this river. at some point or on the regular, or I don't know. But you could definitely tell it was basically like riding an old riverbed the entire way back here. So the one thing's for sure though, I wouldn't want to be anywhere right here if there was a big amount of rain in or around this area, because I'd imagine that this area is completely prone to flash flooding. So definitely one of those spots that if you were to come down here or find this spot, you'd want to definitely make sure that you're not anywhere around when there's a flash flood or lots of rain, or rainfall expected. So where I came in last night, right in there, the trail, you can't really see it, and that was kind of the struggle last night, is you can't really see the trail, but there is a trail. It is marked on the map, and it kind of goes up that little hump over there that you see. But at any rate, it goes and it kind of follows along the river, and the river at some point is just cut down into the bottom of the canyon, and it's really cool. So I'm gonna take you guys over there and we'll check it out together, because I want to see it during the daytime. Up that way some distance is actually a hot spring, or 2 points of access to a hot spring. I'm wondering how warm this water is right here. Almost 70 degrees. I mean, that's not hot tub status, but I could definitely take a shower in that, I was just sitting here thinking, I don't think I've ever seen water that was 10 degrees warmer than the ambient air around it, aside from being at like a hot springs or some sort of like hot tub or something. That's pretty wild, because it's like 52, 55 degrees right here, so 64 in there. That's pretty crazy. All right, let's go check out a river through a canyon. As you can probably imagine, doing this last night was a little eerie, you know what I mean? So this rocky perch right here is where I found myself last night while trying to find camp. And I mean, I could have slept here just fine, but it looked totally different last night. Pretty wild to just come across this though. I mean, I had no idea that there was gonna be a river until I was traveling on that road some ways and I saw where it brought me to a river. Does the term baby head boulders make sense now? This is basically how that whole trail is. All this river rock. I really appreciate you guys riding along on this quick little journey through the New Mexico backcountry. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. If you want to see more videos like it, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And until next time, you guys keep hanging in there like a hair on a biscuit. And remember, you can be happy if you've a mind to. Peace, y'all.